Good morning. It's time for Precision Talk. I'm Marketing Manager Frank Olmsted with HDS Ag, and joining us, Technology Advisor Jay Robinson. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, Frank.
So, guys aren't quite in the field yet, but we are getting close.
Yes, the calls are picking up, but planters aren't running yet. We're bordering on sixth winter,
Yeah.
but I think we might be in the home stretch to get there. So.
Third fall spring. But
Yeah.
what are some things that, as guys are amping to get out there, that they may overlook or maybe need to double check and make sure that it's there and it's working and updated and all this stuff, so when they get to the field, there's no delay.
Great point, because a lot of this is you've been wanting to get the planter going. You had some time in the winter, maybe.
Right.
That was the plan at least, and then now it's going to be go time. So there's a lot of. I'm glad you brought that up. There's a lot of good things that you can check on your system before you even take it out of the shop. But then I would also recommend doing some things as you get it outside to unfold it. Because we've been getting a lot of calls lately on, say you have some steady steer, the motor drive unit won't fire up. And so could be some just simple cabling issues that could be hours of downtime when you find it when you want to run. But if we catch it now, we could get something ordered up or fixed or identified at least. Or even unfolding that planter, if you were able to get it out of the shop and unfold it. I've had a couple calls with some guys that had a cable pinch last year when they put it away but didn't realize it. And while it didn't, their system works functionally, but we need to replace a cable on that. Again, it's just a simple cable. But even configurations, some guys, and a lot of guys are swapping from combine to tractor or back and forth with different implements. And so sometimes an aux serial cable, if you run an RTK, might get left in another cab, and then you're hunting down cables. So just maybe getting everything out and lined up, fire up the monitor, try to get into a run screen. So if you're going to go planting, hit that planting button, find your configuration, and make sure you get the green check marks. If there's not a green check, then maybe it's something simple, or maybe it's a module might have gone bad. But not just overlooking the physical components, but even getting in that monitor just to make sure that everything's lining up, and if there's any difference in the way the configuration or steering was done. If it came out of a combine and now in the cab, is everything there? Do you have the right vehicles and selected? So there's quite a bit of stuff that you can kind of poke around on the monitor just to be sure.
Okay, what about, you mentioned checking the cabling and making sure that's done, but what about some of the stuff that is not tangible, like your subscriptions for
Very good
GPS?
point. Yes, very good point, because there's going to be some data that might have expired. If you got it right before planting season last year because you realized you needed it, and if you haven't called back in or verified that it's there, you could get out in the field and run for a day or two, and then it cuts off because it needs renewed. So that's a great point too, that checking subscriptions. If you have a BR1 Mini in the cab that runs a SIM card, those will take renewal for data, so make sure that's going. You might have everything else lined up perfectly, but if no data is coming through that BR1 Mini, it might show it's connected, but if no internet's flowing through there, you're still at a dead stop. And that is a hard one to diagnose over the phone, because a guy will say, I've got it right here, I can see it's connected on my monitor, but we won't know that it's not getting internet. So it's got to have the internet to get onto that. That's where those O16s are money, because they have a built-in modem. Really reduces the cost on that. But no, great point. Yeah, make sure your subscriptions, your accuracies that you have are all done. If you need a multi-product unlock, or if you purchase something from us, say over the winter, and it was a multi-product or something you didn't need at the time, we can now get that broadcast for you. It doesn't take very long, but I'd hate for you to have to stop for even 20 minutes just to get something sent to your GPS unit. So a great point on that too.
And then when it comes to sort of the housekeeping stuff, the stuff that if you do it now, you don't have to go back and do it later, and that would be like labeling fields and clearing all the last year's data out. How do we go about that?
Yeah, and we can help with, because if you've gotten into it already and you've got many fields, north 1, north 20, moms left, moms south, things like that. It makes sense at the time, and of course I do the same thing. I'll remember that later, and then you don't, and you're not sure what happened. Those, in order to organize and keep it future-proof, making a specific label or making a specific configuration, making and just ensuring you're picking the grower, farm, field properly each time can make a massive difference. Because if you've got fields next to each other and you have it selected properly for east, and then you get done with east and you go over into west, but they butt up with each other and you don't change that, well, now east is west and west doesn't exist because all that data is now overwritten. Now you might be able to go back into Agfinity or the monitor and see what it was maybe in a prior year, but for your 2026 planting season, it's going to be all east. So those are very easily missed because you don't think about it, and it's also something you don't necessarily want to stop and take time to do. But man, down the road when you get the data, because the data is what's gold. The data is going to be able to help you make more ROI. Did I input this much? Was it too much? Was it too little? You can really make choices with that data, and if it's all garbled up, it kind of defeats that purpose. So another great point, Frank.
Can you go through now while you know we
Yes.
have we're expecting rain this week? Can you go through now and start labeling those fields? So Mom's Place,
Yes.
the Jones Farm, and get all this lined up. So when you get there, you just push the button on your monitor and go.
Absolutely, and we have a whiz kid, Johnny, that works at all of our data stuff here. So if you've got questions on it, let us know. I'm sure Adam, Johnny, anybody that knows enough to be dangerous can help out, because you could load that into SMS and do I guess what do you want to call that, more user-friendly type of keyboard, mouse, and typing and things. But you absolutely can sit in the cab and pick a field. You can rename, you can edit, you can do all sorts of things within your monitor alone. Definitely worth getting that done ahead of time, or even making a plan for what you want them to be named, just so you don't end up with an East 1, East 2, East 3, and they're miles apart. So
Right.
it's not funny, but it just happens all the time. It's a common mistake. If you've done it, I get it, because it's one of those things. But it definitely helps to organize ahead of time and make sure you have a plan, because then trying to find it later is much worse.
All right. So anything else? Any tips or tricks?
No, I do. I think you actually nailed all of it. Those are some phenomenal things to do before you get out into the field, because it's the simple stuff that makes it even more aggravating if it's holding you up. It's like stubbing your toe. It doesn't bleed. It's not broken. Doesn't bruise, but it hurt like But we also have the financing program. I know it's planting season. It's harder to get things installed now when you really want to go. You don't want to be delayed. However, we do have the financing program rolled out April 1st. It's not an April Fool's, so it's true.
Good.
But give us a call if you have any want information on that, or looking at a system. We'd be more than happy to help you wherever you guys are.
Absolutely. You can get a hold of us at 712-744-4468 on the web at hgsag.com, or you can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all at HGSAG. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, Frank.